Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Husking from Generations Counseling and Care Management, and also a part of the lovely Professional Aging Network Committee. And I am going to introduce today's speaker. So today's speaker is Linda Pollock. She's been in this business for 35 years. Linda worked with national developers to renovate buildings to turn them into condos. She worked with high-end residential project managers. As someone with an aging parent herself, she understands the challenges adult children face when they get pushback about making modifications to the home. Her own obstinate mother refuses to wear her medical alert bracelet, and there was nothing she could do to change her mind. So now, through setting the stage, she's on a mission to modify homes so that people with compromised abilities, either from aging issues or a disability, can age in place and live in place no matter where they live. So when she's not modifying homes, she enjoys pickleball, bridge, canasta, golf, spending time with family, friends, and her dog, a golden doodle. So today she's going to talk about smart technology for the home. So Linda, why don't you take it away?
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for allowing me to come and present to you today. So can everybody see the full screen, or is the pictures covering it all?
No, you're good.
Okay. So how can technology help individuals aging in place? I recently wrote an article, How Smart Technology Can Be a Life Changer for Individuals with Dementia. And it talked about just a few of the technologies available. With this presentation, I'm going to do a deeper dive into technologies available for all individuals wishing to age in place or live in place. I have expanded this to include some features that can be used in assisted living facilities. If you have any questions, you can certainly contact me afterwards, and my contact information is here and at the end. So one of the things that I like to use for a lot of homes are smart door locks, especially with individuals who have dementia, Alzheimer's, that are trying to live alone. This is great because it allows the family to have more control and more knowledge about what the person living in by themselves is doing. It allows them to be able to monitor who's coming and going from the home, and it does not allow the person with dementia, Alzheimer's, to leave the house if they are not supposed to. Occupancy sensors, these are great, okay? And this is something that you asked about for assisted living facilities. These would be a great item to have. It allows the individual's family to be notified when movement is detected in certain areas. They also have the ability to send a notification if movement has not been detected for a certain amount of time. Some of these sensors also have fall risks. So if someone falls, it will send a notification for help, which is a wonderful thing to have. Lighting systems. So lighting systems allow individuals to set schedules for lighting in the home. They can be installed with motion sensors so that they don't have to get up. They can also be set with a schedule. So if you know that with daylight savings time, the darkness is going to come earlier or later, you can set your lights to go on at a certain time so that they are not going to be in the dark and they don't actually have to get up to turn on the lights. They also have these little tabletop remotes right here that they can control from the chair. So it's a really nice feature to have. I added this for you because smart light bulbs. Smart light bulbs are fabulous. They should be all over the place. People should be using them all the time. They're not expensive, and they can be controlled from an app on your phone. This particular one has 16 million different colors you can choose from. You can choose it by your mood, or if you want it to dim, you can go on your app and you can dim it right there from your phone. You do not need to get up to do it, which is a really nice feature. If you're coming home and you just want lights to be on your house, you can also do that so you're not walking in the dark. I have one in my foyer and it's a wonderful thing to have. So I did add this for you because it's one that you could also put in the assisted living facilities so that people can have it so they can walk into their room and it's not dark, which is nice. I love this. It's a smart outlet. So you can plug anything, lamps, you can plug, anything you want into this, and you can control it from an app. So if you have a family member that just wants to be able to see if there's lights on or, what they're doing, they can actually monitor this from there. There's no subscription agreement, and it's a really nice device to have. If there's somebody realizes that they have an electric heater plugged in and they're worried, someone can go on the app and shut it off. It's a nice safety feature. It also monitors energy usage so that you can see how much energy you're using while things are on. HVAC controls. Smart HVAC controls allow individuals, the family, to monitor the temperature in the residence while also setting schedules. Some smart thermostats also learn the individual's habits over time, so they don't need to rely on an app for changes. I know Nest makes one. I've had clients who have had them. We've had to take them out because they don't like the fact that the app actually presets to a temperature and they might want it warmer. There are lots of them that are out there, so you just have to find one that you're happy with. I have a Honeywell in my house, and it's actually very easy to use. Surveillance cameras. So this allows the individual's family to have peace of mind, keeping an eye on their loved ones from a distance. You can have them for interior and exterior. It also allows, if you have somebody with dementia who happens to leave the house, you can actually look back at the camera to see what direction they walked in. That's a nice feature. For myself, when I'm working with a family, there are other places. I will give you an example. My own mother can't be trusted. She gets up in the middle of the night. She has an aide that lives in with her, and she waits till the aide goes to sleep, and then she sneaks into the kitchen to steal candy and ice cream. We have actually had to set one up so that as soon as her feet hit the floor next to her bed, the camera notifies her aide, which wakes her up in the middle of the night, so she can go check on her to see if she's gone to the bathroom or if she's in the kitchen or she's just wandering around. I actually, at times when someone is living alone, I like to have one pointing at the refrigerator because I like to see A, if there's food in the refrigerator, and B, if they are eating anything. If you have a family member that lives out of state, it gives them some peace of mind to know that their family is walking around, which is why the sensory sensors are really nice, because it tells the family member that they are moving around in the apartment, which rooms they're going into. If they're in the bathroom for more than 20 minutes, the sensor can tell them that. The surveillance cameras being in other rooms does the same thing, and it's a very nice feature if you have a family member not living nearby. Okay, this is something that I added for you. This actually is a wonderful tool, especially if you have somebody that has any dementia or Alzheimer's. It also is great if you have a family member. It could be a child or somebody that has any other type of disability. This is a GPS device. So the one on the top can be attached to a backpack or a pocketbook or anything else that somebody's taking with them. It tracks them so that you know where they are. One of the things I like about this, especially for kids or somebody with dementia, Alzheimer's, it has a geofencing. So you plot an area that they are allowed to roam around in. If they leave that area, it sends an alert to the person that is monitoring it, whether it be a family member or an aide or anybody else. What I like about the one on the bottom, especially for somebody who has dementia, Alzheimer's, it's a watch, but it can't be taken off by them. There's a special tool that needs to be used in order for it to be removed from their wrist. One of the things I always worry about is that, like my mother who won't wear her medical alert, with this, they might want to take it off and then you will not be able to find them. I think these are a great tool for anybody who is worried about somebody, getting lost or not remembering how to get home. This is a fabulous tool. It also has an assistive response. So if they have an SOS, there's a button on it on both of them so they can call for emergency help, which is great. The watch actually has in beta a fall detection. So if they do fall, it will detect it and they will get immediate, response. This is a wonderful tool to have. And there are other companies that make it, but this is ranked #1. Medication dispensing, wonderful tool. Always worried about somebody taking their medication too often, not remembering that they took it already, or not taking it at all. I have had to go through this with my own mother. There are times when she took her medication too often and would end up in the hospital. And then there are times when she would just thought she took it and wouldn't take it. Now with a live-in aid, she is, getting her medication when she's supposed to. This is a fabulous tool for somebody who wants to live at home and they don't have a family member around to bring them and give them the correct medication when it's supposed to be taken. We need to do everything we can to protect them. Okay, one of my favorite things right now is the agenda video chat. So this is a great tool. It can be used for assisted living, just so that if you have a family member that does not live nearby, if somebody's living by themselves, it's just fabulous. So this system has 24/7 voice activated emergency response. It is customized by the company. So it reminds them to take medications. It can remind them to, take a shower. It can remind them they have a doctor's appointment. They have a bridge game, anything that they need to be reminded of. It's fabulous for them. It's hands-free, voice activated. All you have to do, and I don't want to say it because all of mine in my house would go off if I say it. So you're going to say, exactly what I'm going to say. What's nice about this is if you have somebody visiting or you just need help, it has an intercom built into it. So if you have a family member that's living in a second bedroom, you can just call them for help. It's a very nice thing. The doctor's appointments, birthdays, outings, all can be pre-scheduled or scheduled in by a family member because there is an app that goes with it. And it can also be used for online shopping lists and entertainment. One of the companies that I've been talking to is amazing. Theirs is set up before it's even sent out. So they go through the whole process with the family. They install all of the emergency numbers, family members' information, doctors, local emergency services. They can schedule what time the medication is supposed to be taken and any doctor's appointments. Everything is installed and set before it is actually mailed to the family. And then once they receive it, all they need to do is plug it in. It does not need Wi-Fi. It works off of cell towers, so that if the family does not have Wi-Fi there, you don't have to worry, it's still gonna work. What's really nice is that the family members can add appointments and they can add anything they want. They can have video chats with the family member. It is set up so that in the bathroom, there is one. Next to the bed is another one with a clock built into it. And then the video chat would go into the living room or kitchen, wherever the resident is the most comfortable. This would be really nice for assisted living so that if family members don't live nearby and can't visit on a regular basis, they can actually have this and it's like being there. So I really like this, and this company is wonderful. Okay, wait, I'm going the wrong direction. Temperature controlled faucets, another wonderful new invention. So this gets installed. They do need to have an outlet underneath it, but it can control the temperature of the water. Too many times people turn on the water and then they don't realize that they have it at a scalding temperature. So it has a little LED light at the base of the faucet where they can actually see what the temperature is. If it's blue, it's cold, and then it gets, redder as it gets hotter. You can actually preset the temperature so it cannot go above a certain, heat level. This way they can't scald themselves. It's a very nice feature to have. They also do make hands-free. I'm not as big a fan of the hands-free because I've seen too many people have problems with them. They have not perfected that technology yet, but they're getting better at it. But I do like this feature, especially if somebody's living alone. Okay, where'd my mouse go? Okay, another great invention, induction stoves. This is something that I love, and it would be great for assisted living facilities or independent living if they do have a stovetop. This allows only the section that has the pot on it to get hot, which means none of this other area has any heat to it. So they can't burn themselves. There's no flames for them to set anything on fire. And it's a much safer way for people with any type of disability because they get unsteady. And then all of a sudden, when they get unsteady, the first thing they do is they grab for the stove and they burn themselves. This way, they cannot burn themselves. And if the pot is taken off, it automatically goes right to cold. So they can only use it with the right pot on the stove. It's a wonderful thing to have. It does not emit any gas. So it's just a lot safer all in general. I would use these when I'm working with clients who are building a new home or renovating an apartment. I just think, it's a much safer thing to have. And I will tell you when I have to buy my next stove, I will certainly put one of these in. I'm not as, living in place yet, but I'm still preparing for myself as I replace things. Smart oven. This is something that can be added. I had a client recently who does not use her oven because she's afraid of it. She had an old toaster that, in my looking at it, thought it could catch a fire very soon. So I sent this link to her son, who was looking for a safer way for her to be able to heat things up. These come in many different, models. You could have a very basic one, or you could have it where it has an air fryer, grill, it has convection in it, and it goes on the countertop. And if you're not comfortable with them having a big oven and, range, this is a very safe way for them to be able to heat things up and, cook for themselves. And it also has, just a lot of recipes that come with it. But more than that, I just think it's a nice, easy tool for people to have. I don't know if in assisted living facilities, if they allow things like this, but it's a good tool to have for them. So this is a nice thing to have. I added this also for the assisted living facilities. It's a smart floor lamp, and it allows them to, it's also voice controlled. So you can set it up with a schedule where, you want to go to bed at 11 o'clock. It shuts itself off at 11 o'clock. If you're lying in bed and you don't want to have to get up, you can just tell your you-know-who to shut it off, and it will do that. It makes it very easy. It has a schedule allowed to put in it, or you can just talk to it. And it also has 16 million colors that can be used. So you can have little tones, you can change it for night. You can have it brighter for, when the lights are dimming outside, sun's gone, the lights can brighten for you, and you can set it up whichever way you want. And I see some people in the chat. Are those questions? Can't hear you.
You have one question
so
far. Ron Gold wanted to know if the GPS device that you spoke about earlier on in the presentation, is that similar to the Apple product Smart Tag?
It could be. I just happen to like this particular company. It got rated very high. The Apple Watches keep coming up with new, things that they add to it. So it could be similar. I have an Apple Watch, but I actually don't know how to use most of the features on it. Because I also have, the smartphone, so I do it all on there. But I did see, let's go back to that. Oh, I won't buy it. Hold on. The Apple Watch could have it. I know that Gorman makes a watch that has those type of features. There are different products. This is just one that I, when I was doing my research for individuals with dementia and Alzheimer's, I happened upon because it's just a very good product, and PC Magazine ranked it as the #1 product out there. And I like the fact that, it could be used for kids as well. It's very hard to get people to, find things, but the Apple Watch, somebody could just take off their wrist, which is one of the reasons I like this one, is because they cannot remove it unless somebody removes it for them with the special key. It's like the medical alert. My mother's aide would put it on her before she would leave at night, And within 5 minutes, my mother had it off and laying on the bed. So when she would go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and she would fall, she had nothing to contact anybody for an emergency. That's one of the reasons I really like this. This watch is a new product of theirs. And I like the fact that it cannot be taken off. Where was I? Oh, there. Okay, so I just wanted to, as a certified aging in place specialist and certified living in place professional, I am on a mission to modify homes so that people with compromised abilities, either from aging issues or disability, can live and stay in their home safely. It's a home that they love. They don't want to have to leave it. My job is to make them safe to be there. Doesn't always work, and there's not always abilities for somebody to be alone. I recently had a client that wanted to stay alone. Unfortunately, she has something called apraxia. So with her, she can speak, but no sound comes out of her mouth. So finding some technology for her that she would be able to call for an emergency was difficult. I finally had to put her family in touch with Life Alert, because with them, she could just hit the SOS button and she could wear a bracelet that had the button. If she fell, she could hit the SOS. She did not have to speak. They had it in their system that she cannot make a sound. So they would just send somebody out for an emergency. They were able to do all the other things in the apartment that I recommended. But they had to use the Life Alert. They could not use any of these other technologies, unfortunately, because she cannot speak. If you ever want to see the article that I had published before, this is the link for it. And this is my contact information. So if you have any questions or you have any concerns or you have somebody who needs help, I'm always here to help you and do a home assessment. With the home assessment, I go into great detail and I work with the resident that wants to stay in their home and their family, so that if they have concerns, I always do a walkthrough with the person who wants to age in place so that I can actually see what their physical abilities are. I will watch how they get on and off a bed, how they enter and exit a shower. There are a lot of things that come into play when you're trying to get somebody to age in place properly. And these are things that I have to look for to make sure that I can take care of it and make the correct modifications. And if anybody has any questions.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. So does the floor lamp provide sunlight, blue light tech?
It can, yes. They can change it so it has the blue light in it. It's a nice feature, yeah.
And then do you name the products? Like, do you name the brands of the products in your article?
Honestly, I wrote the article a few months ago. I think I might have shown some, but I'm happy to, go through that with anybody who wants to learn more about the products.
Yeah, because I had a couple of direct messages wondering what the brands were and why you didn't put the brands in the presentation.
Well, some of them are like the
okay.
No, some of them are. Here, let me go back. Here, you have this one. This does not say it. I can't see because all the faces are over there.
I can see your presentation.
Okay, I'm just looking for. Hold on. Where's the one with the? Yeah, this should have it. Does it not say who the brand?
Oh, you know what? I think it's just a little hard to read.
Oh, okay.
Because like the image is there, but yeah. I'm just looking at it. It's hard to read.
Yeah, that's called Angel Sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't. Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah, this one was Nest. I can't see what it says because all of your faces are in it. This is also made by Wise. So is the light bulb. But if anybody has any questions, just email me or call me. I'm happy to, this one has the brand on it. Wise makes great products.
We also, would you be able to put the link to your article in the chat box?
Good question. Well, let me do that.
So I can stop your screen sharing. That might help. I'll stop the screen sharing and then maybe you can copy and paste it for us.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I gotta. See where that-
I'm looking at any
Hold on a
more
second.
questions. Someone asked if you provide services in New York City and Long Island.
Yes, I do. Well, I'm trying to find the presentation now.
It's all right. You have time. We just
Okay.
definitely put the link in the chat because we had a couple people direct message me about it.
Right.
So does anybody have any other questions for Linda? Someone asked, what's your charge for a home assessment?
In Northern New Jersey, it's $250. And then if it's, depending on the travel time, it might go up. In New York City, it starts at $350. So it really just depends on the travel time, because that, obviously tolls and everything else.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, you try. I know but again, like, so Linda doesn't sell these products. It's just these are things that she's been researching for different clients. She's pretty amazing to her clients too. So does anybody else have any questions specifically about the products? Beth Rowan, I see that your hand is up.
Yes, I totally want to get in touch with you, Linda. I have two questions specifically. Is a lot of these things are apps, so helping aides and family members like tie-in is great, but do you find, have they modified it for people who are aging and are not as comfortable with apps, or is it complicated?
No, it's actually most of them are very easy.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to get back to you now to copy and paste this into. Okay.
And then the other question I had is do you also help the families install them, or do you do the assessment, like give them the links to the products and then they kind of install everything?
We can help them install it. I mean, it really depends on how in depth we're going with the clients.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's somebody like the client I just worked with is right here in Cliffside Park, I actually went through and I was helping them pick the correct product, and I would send them the link from Amazon so they could order it. The son he's a tech. This is what he does for a living, so he didn't need my help.
Mm-hmm.
But I have another client in Montvale who actually I go there because I love him. He's a client from my other company as well. So a lot of times I will go there because he gets stumped and his kids are not always available to help him. So I will stop by and help him with things.
Okay, great.
It's what I do. I love working with, my clients, and I want them to be safe. I want them to succeed, staying in their homes if they can. It's not always possible that somebody can live, by themselves, but if they can, I think, they should. Unfortunately, we had to put somebody full-time in my mother's apartment because she could not be by herself anymore. She did for years, but at some point you have to make those decisions.
Right.
But if somebody can, they should be able to succeed. And just, a lot of what my passion has, especially with people with dementia and Alzheimer's, comes from my pickleball. I met a gentleman last summer who was up here from the Carolinas helping his older brother who has Alzheimer's. His sister refuses to put him in a, assisted living facility. And he normally has an aide from 9 to 5, but she was on vacation for the week. And then the sister comes in and feeds him dinner and leaves. And while he was up here, the day after we were talking, he told me that when he was in the shower, his brother escaped the house and fell in the driveway. And so I started explaining to him about all the technology that's available. And he's like, I did not know that. And so we went through this whole process. So my passion for educating people on the products that are out there to protect their loved ones has become a true passion for me. So here I am.
It definitely shows, Linda. So we have another question. What's the name of the product that looked like the Facebook portal for video chat?
Oh, there's one called, well, there's a bunch. Google Hub has one. So that's one. The one I really like is called Smart Choice. It also is a Vet Assist. So if the person's a veteran, they can get it through Vet Assist at a little bit lower of a price than the Smart Choice. I'm actually, if you want to get the Smart Choice, let me know, because only you have to get it through certain ways, and I happen to be one of the ways you can get it. But it's a fabulous product. I really like it. Very impressed with it. You know, it's a lot easier because you don't have to do the programming. With some of these other ones, the family members would have to do the programming. With this particular product, it gets sent to you, and everything is programmed into it before it arrives.
That's great. So make sure you put your information in the chat box, because there was a couple of people who probably want to reach out to you. Does anybody have any other questions before I stop recording? No? All right. Well, I'm going to stop recording.